Auchentoshan 25. On location at Vine and Table. 47.6% ABV. Boys, let's dig into it.
Right on.
What's up?
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
4 guys in a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase. It might be here.
Where is
hopefully.
Here? We are at Vine and Table, our favorite liquor store local to us, and we were asked to come in and do a review by this man right here. Dave is the spirits manager at Vine and Table, and Dave, I'm going to let you tell these folks a little bit about the store.
We've been around for about 15 years. I've personally been here for about 6.5.
Good.
Pleased enough to have been mentored by local legend, who was the Formula Spirits manager here.
Right.
I took over a couple of months ago, just looking to fill shoes and keep things going smoothly here.
Very nice.
I can speak for myself and probably the other 3 dummies that I think we're excited about it. If there's one person that needed to be tapped to fill the shoes, you're the man to do it. So
appreciate that.
Today we are getting into this, and we're getting into this bottle for a few reasons. Number one, we've only done one other Auchentoshan, and it didn't sit well with us. I hate to say that, but nevertheless, it didn't really score really well. And so today when we got here, we were really pushed to say, get into this one, because this is a special bottle. This is a little different. This is a 25-year-old Auchentoshan. It is 8 years ex-bourbon.
8 years ex-bourbon?
Give us a story on this.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this.
Yep. 8 years ex-bourbon, 17 years first fill barriques from Bordeaux. Unchill filtered.
I assume natural color. I mean, look at
Definitely
it. Definitely
natural color, yeah.
A little bit about the distillery. Auchentoshan is right on the border.
They claim Lowland. They are right on the border between Lowland and Highland. Once you taste them, you'll probably get why they don't call themselves a typical Highland distillery.
Okay.
A little bit softer. Definitely a smoother flavor. A little bit of a salt edge as well.
Briny edge on there.
Just a touch.
It's beautiful in color. I'll be honest with you on that. 47.6% ABV. And how it says limited release. What are we?
Did you say it was 47?
47.6.
That's an interesting number. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but it says limited release, and you said somewhere maybe between 1,500 cases.
About 1,500 cases originally. At this point, in this state, we're pretty much it, and we're looking at about 18, 19 bottles left.
Wow.
Okay.
And what is that going for here at Vine and Table?
247.73.
247.73. So we did a little research online before we came on, just to let you guys know that's about $50 cheaper than anywhere else in the country.
Nice.
So, depending on how we review it, there may be 0 bottles.
Exactly.
Just saying.
And today we are using coin number 98 because this bottle was distilled in 1988 and there's an 8 in it, so we're using coin 98.
What he
So
said.
there you go.
He always comes up with
It's
something.
important
There you go.
logic. It really is. It's really you got to do.
All right, guys, let's dive into this. 25.
Oh man, you can smell the age. Deep.
Yeah, it does have like almost
Rich,
a little bit of musty
like-
on the
yeah.
nose too.
Old wood, like an old wine barrel. What do you know? It's like an old
There
wine
you go.
barrel.
Yeah.
Boy, it's cherries.
Yeah,
Definitely
there
some
is.
red fruit.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
In the
that's
bottle,
nice.
it's got a nice reddish tint to it. I don't know if they can see it on camera, but it's got it's not all brown.
No.
I guess. It's got a little hint of red in it.
Definitely shows hints of where it came from.
There's a spicy note in there, though. Definitely something spicy on top of that red fruit.
Oh my gosh.
I'm getting
Deep, oaky.
plum too in the nose.
Yeah, definitely. Oaky and cherries and all this. This is one of my
Yeah,
wheelhouse
you can get
whiskeys.
the- you can get
so
the-
I like the heavily peated whiskeys, but this one has enough body and substance to it that it really is kind of the ruby fruits and those kind of things I really love. And this is a nice glass.
It's got that. It's got a nice plum note to it.
Yeah.
And a little bit of that bitter like plum skin, some light spice,
I think
There's
there's a
some spice to
long
it.
spice finish for me.
Pepper and
but it's not heavy. It's subtle. Very well balanced.
Right,
Really,
there's a briny note
very
too.
nice
though.
bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is there.
chew on it a little bit here. At the end, pepper and something else.
The early finish, you get a little bit of that brine, but it's really that oaky, full-bodied. flavor.
I get a little bit of iodine on the back end after the spice fades out.
Iodine.
Okay.
But you can definitely get the age of the Scotch. It's got that little bit of must, little bit of old library and things of that nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here comes the point where you guys throw something at me and tell me I'm crazy.
Sure.
And it might not mean something to a lot of folks overseas, but honestly, I get a little bit of like Laurie's seasoning salt in it. You know what I'm
Okay.
talking about? The
Yeah,
steak seasoning?
Sure.
That's
No, I'll give you that with the salt and probably some of the
Yeah.
other spices that we're talking about here.
I mean, I love that smell, so it's good for me, but
And those few drops of water are going to do well. It does actually open up beautifully.
Oh
It
my
drinks
gosh.
just fine at its regular proof, but a few drops definitely bring out some new notes.
Oh my gosh, that's great. So part of our reviews is we always add a little water to see what that does with it. 46% or 47% ABV, we'd expect it to be able to handle the water with no issue. Especially with
so
the rich
smooth.
flavors.
Really, really smooth. I mean, 47, it's not that high, but I mean, there's no temperature, there's no heat, there's no nothing on this. Just a nice.
Yeah, it's like a
think
fruit belt.
I think the extra ABV probably gives it a little more body and character.
I
than
think
it
you're
would
right.
have
It does,
at anything
yeah.
lower. But I wouldn't want to. I don't think I'd want to go a whole lot higher either. It seems very appropriate right where it's at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one, you asked about the 47.6. This one, not cask strength, not normal strength. This one was distilled to the exact proof that the master distiller thought would be its peak.
All right.
They tested it at every proof and came in about
About right.
halfway between two of them. Yeah,
oh, they're all gone. That's weird.
yeah.
So I think initially the water really sweetened it up.
That's what I thought.
It really tamed down the spicy note that I was getting on
Mm-hmm.
the nose, and it just brought out some dark chocolate, some milk chocolate,
Yeah.
if you will, because it was really sweet.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a little bit of cream on it.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
just going to say, I got
It's
marshmallow and dark chocolate together right now.
Yeah.
That's surprising. It
Yeah,
definitely
it-
brightened up the glass a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It brought down the oaky, the heavy wood, and brought up the sweet fruit. And it really is. It's really nice. You can really create this. You add a little water to it. It's great for the summer.
Oh, wow.
You leave it neat. It's great for winter.
That water really did tricks for this one.
Yeah.
It sweetened it up.
All right.
The oak
All
came
right.
out
This is
more.
gonna be a tough one. So, what's the price on this again? Let's verify that.
247.73
Okay, so
73 to the penny.
to the penny.
plus tax and title and license.
It comes with the box though.
Yeah, see, that's why you need a title for the box. And-
There you go.
yeah.
Okay, so who's ready? Eeny, meeny, miny, go. I'm not.
No,
I'm still
I'm
thinking
not.
about a couple
I-
things.
So it's an expensive dram, but it's got you can pour a tiny half-ounce pour and enjoy it for 20 minutes, half
Yep.
an hour. So,
But to your point earlier, it tastes expensive too. It has that musty, like old.
That's
Not
nice.
so much expensive, but old, right? Which you would kind of equate to a more expensive brand, perhaps. But it's quality.
okay, so I'm trying to. So I'm
got something
I'm
to
about
say.
ready to go, but I
Go
got
for
to
it.
think about the question is what would not make it a 4. So this is a very good dram, and
Then don't go first.
if you're ready, go ahead.
You're going to go second if I go.
I'm almost there. So, are you ready?
Almost there. No, I'm not.
Are you guys ready?
Close.
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll go.
It's weak. All right, so this particular bottle, I came into a little hesitant because the couple expressions from this distillery that I've had, I have not cared for very much at all. But they were younger. One was an NAS. And so I'm not going to judge a distillery by those entry levels all the time. I want to see what they really have to offer, because if they've been around a long time, generally they have some good offerings. So this is an older expression. The wine caskings always make me a little nervous because you can either do it really well or you can do it really bad. There's not a whole lot of in
Absolutely.
between, right? Like it's either one or the other with those. They obviously got some good casks to put this in because the finished product came out very nice. I think the price for the age statement is very reasonable, especially here. I don't know what you guys are going to pay elsewhere, but I know what we pay. Very well balanced. I thought that the water did some nice things to it. Agreed, brought up the fruit, brought down the oak a little bit, brought down the spice a little bit. It wasn't overpowering neat, but I liked it a little bit better with the water. I thought it brought out a nice creamy note to it that I really enjoyed. The sweetness came through a little bit better with just a little bit of water. just a really nice, enjoyable dram. It has depth of flavor. It has a lot of character. You're not going to find a whole lot that are like that. So I think the distillery totally redeemed itself, in my opinion, with this bottle.
Yeah.
The only thing that I thought was just a little bit off, and I don't know if it's the distillery or this particular bottling or the caskings they used, but it did have like a tannic note on the back end after kind of the spicy finish had faded. Iodine or something like that just was kind of cloying on the sides of my tongue. They just kind of threw it off just a hint. Other than that, everything about it was great. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a 4 out there. I thought it was great. I think for the price, it's very reasonable. It's a great expression.
Let me ask you though, with your wine experience, do you get that tannic expression from a Bordeaux? I'm not a wine guy, so I really don't know. Is that something that's typical in a Bordeaux?
Yeah, I mean, it's a red wine, so it's going to have tannins in it. But I mean, a lot of it depends on how old that wine was that had been in there before, and what they had done with it. So I don't think that they went to the discount Bordeaux places everywhere.
All right, man. So,
but it wasn't off-putting. But it was there just a little bit, but it also made me want to take another sip, so I guess it's all right.
all right, so I'll take it from there. I'm definitely in agreement with you when it comes to the wine. I was very hesitant coming into this with the Bordeaux finish. We've gotten into some different wine ones. I'm not a big Sauternes guy. That one always scares me. So this one I was like, this is either going to be good or it's going to be bad. And you know how we shoot, straight from the hip. So luckily it's good. I honestly enjoyed it. I didn't want to come into Vine Table and be like, yeah, that was a no-go.
No, thank you.
So honestly, it reminds me a lot of an Oloroso finish. And I really love those old Olorosos. So neat, I really liked it. I liked it on the nose. I liked it on the palate. I liked it on the finish. To me, neat was the way to go. I put some water on it. The nose was really promising. It sweetened it up, tamed down the spice a little bit. I was really excited about it. With water, I didn't appreciate it on the palate and the finish as much. Did I dislike it on the palate and finish? No, I didn't. I won't say I didn't like it. But going forward, I would drink this neat, and that's just the way I would. Unless I just wanted to sniff it, and believe me, sometimes you get into a glass and that's all you want to do. You're like, man, I can't stop smelling this. But so because of the water take, and maybe it was just me, I'm going to give it a solid 3. I appreciate the price point because it's under $10 a year for a 25-year-old. And you guys know once you get above 20, start getting those older expressions, price per year really starts going up.
Yeah.
So I think the price point's right. I was told by a good friend who's going to be on camera in a little while, this is actually getting really hard to find. So you got to take that in mind too if you guys are really interested in it. I'm going to give it a solid 3. I appreciate the fact that it's a good Bordeaux finish because sometimes we don't always get that. So kudos to the distillery.
Okay. This is a great glass. This is, for a non-peated whiskey, this is totally my wheelhouse.
What did he say?
What?
He did say wheelhouse.
For non-peated whiskey. So the question is, the reason I love this is just the rich, bold flavors. And it's great, neat, and it's great with water. I got to give this a 4. And, when I think about the other 4s we've got with, the King Alexander the 3, and this has all that. In fact, I think this has more richness than maybe the King Alexander because it's at a higher ABV, and it's got a lot of that oak in it, and it's just a broader, deeper flavor, which is really kind of what I like. So I'm going to give this a 4 every day. And the fact that this is adaptable enough with water to fit different moods, that's a bonus.
Yep.
I'd agree with you on the King Alexander. There is more. It's not as complex, I don't think, but I definitely think it's definitely got more rich and bold flavors.
Yeah.
But you want to score this, or you want to stay unbiased and neutral?
Oh,
Tell us
I'm
what you love
always happy to
Get in there, Dave.
Tell us what you think
Get in
about
there
it.
and
Yeah,
fight.
absolutely.
Tell us what you think.
So I definitely got the tannic note on it, but I consider that less an issue and more a feature.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, because I like tannin as long as it doesn't come with sharp acidity.
Yep.
That's really what kills the wine finish for me on a Scotch.
That's what he's
Is
talking
I've got a little bit of knowledge, tiny bit.
Sure, you want to be on a Dummies show? I don't think you belong
about.
here.
Bringing us all up right now.
But no, I mean, I thought that there was just enough tannin to kind of dry the palate slightly. and really get you wanting to take that next sip.
Yeah.
I will admit I'm biased because I was kind of like you. I've liked Auchentoshan, but they've never necessarily knocked it out of the park for me.
Yeah.
This one, the first time I had it, knocked me out of the park.
You almost had to check the label to see if it was
Yeah,
distillery.
that's why I kind of recommended that we try this one,
Yeah.
given your previous
Yeah.
experience.
It's very good.
You want to top off?
Put a little neat on top of that, please.
A little bit too topper.
There you
So-
go. So yeah, I think I'm kind of like you. I tend to veer more towards the peated stuff, but I did get that touch of iodine that not quite smoke, but almost there's a campfire somewhere down the road.
Yeah. Well described. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this one. It really is a redemptive bottle for me. So yeah, I probably would go with a 4 on this one.
All right.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Drew, what do you got?
So you were 3,
Man,
you 3
yeah,
at 4s,
I'm really
right?
getting
Right? You got
bus
4?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give
Wow.
me a 2, right?
You're going to lose your title.
I don't
I'm never
know.
gonna lose my
I
title.
came in, honestly, I came in this one thinking 3. I was with you at first, but I'm not kidding. This thing is getting better as it sits here. And I don't know, I'd go to the degree of saying it's better than... It's definitely the Dalmore to King is, I think, a little bit more complexity. But boy, this thing is rich. It's got some depth to it.
Yes.
I do. This is kind of redemption for me, too, in the Auchentoshan line. I kind of really... Actually, more than really, I really like this bottle. This is a good bottle. I don't know it's quite a 4 because personally, it's a little too high for me in that price range, personally. But I think it's definitely worth a lot of money. It's a good quality bottle for the price. I'm going to go 3.5 in this one because it's got the depth and some all the things you guys suggested earlier. I mean, I mentioned marshmallow cream and dark chocolate a minute ago. That's an awesome finish,
Yeah, how do you
right?
go wrong with that?
like a
Right.
s'more.
Spices.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Right.
it's got some character, it's got some depth to it, but it's just not all the way there for me for a 4 yet. So I'm gonna go 3.5 on this one because I think it is.
All right.
I'm waiting for somebody to give us the average on that.
All right. Yeah. No. So
of a sudden,
4,
math is
3,
hard.
4, 4, 3.75. That's like 3.87653.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Chemical engineer.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah.
idea. You correct me on the math when you.
We'll figure it out.
Sounds good to us.
All right.
So Auchentoshan, is it actually? It's not called Auchentoshan 25. This is Auchentoshan 1988 wine cask finish. Yeah. I'd say you said 3.8 something.
Something, maybe.
Something like that.
3.75?
Maybe.
Sure.
Where can I get a hold of it, Sean?
Come to find a table. Come to Indiana. Tell you
Gotta
what,
come to Indiana to get this one.
You pick up a bottle of that and come to the bar.
I don't know how many
good.
are left around the world or in the States, but
Forget it.
there's a good a dozen and a half right here in this store right now.
And worth the drive.
If you guys liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button,
Yep,
kick the
and like.
notification.
Yep. Join us on Thursdays for our live show.
Every
Join us on
Thursday.
Discord
And how
for
are we
our
going to talk
persistent
about this on
chat.
Thursday night?
We'll figure something
Scotch
out.
for Dummies might have to buy one of these, so there's only 17 left.
You just put down a number. Hey, thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Cheers,
everyone.
guys.
Cheers. Sláinte.